I'm back with Shelby. Shelby, I met you about 2 weeks ago. How have you been?
Struggling. It's been a little difficult. It's hotter. It's hard to stay cool.
Is that your biggest struggle, the heat?
Yeah, just because of my dog, basically. Yeah.
Where is your dog at?
He's with a friend right now. In AC.
Okay, so like in an apartment or something?
Yeah. Just for, it's too hot for him out here, and I have a friend who's kind enough to pick him up every once in a while and take him to get him out of the elements,
That's really nice.
Yeah.
I've never heard of that before.
Yeah.
I always see pets out here, dogs out here with their owner. But that's really nice that you have a friend that's willing to take your dog to help out the dog, right? It's really cool.
He can't. It's too much. It's just it's too much. He's a little dog, and he hates the heat. He's just like a human, like we are. We get irritable, cranky, and he does too. And it's not fair to him to keep him in this environment just because my decisions got me here, but it shouldn't make him suffer because of my decisions were bad.
How do you feel about other homeless folks that are battling addiction? They have dogs that are out here. How do you feel about them having those dogs when it's 115, 110 degrees?
You would be surprised. I have to admit, I don't really. I feel like it's contradictory, but I feel like it's not fair to the animals. But surprisingly, most people that are homeless take really good care of their animals. They really love their animals and do everything possible to provide comfort and care to their animals. I met a gentleman who had a dog that had to be at least 100 pounds, and literally he was picking the dog up and carrying it everywhere because he did not want it to burn his feet, and he didn't have shoes for the dog. And he would stop in shades every 5 minutes or so, but he was literally carrying his dog everywhere, and that was a heavy dog, and you'd just be surprised how much love people have for their animals.
What happens to those dogs when the owner gets arrested, when the owner slumps out, they're asleep for hours? What do you think? Do you think that's fair for the dog?
I've seen when people get arrested, usually there's someone that's kind enough to provide care to the animal. I have seen one small dog go through multiple owners because people getting arrested. It's not fair to that animal. Again, ultimately, none of us choose to be homeless, right? And if I didn't have my dog for so long before I became homeless, I wouldn't have an animal. I would not go out and get an animal now, today, because there's no way I can provide for myself well enough. I should not be trying to provide for an animal, but one that has been with me for already, like, drummer, 6 years. And we weren't homeless for the first 5 years of his life. It's like giving up a child. It's not something you can just do. So I had a lady pull up to me and ask me, can I take your dog? And I'm like, can I take your kids? It's the same thing. I didn't say that to her, but I wanted to. I just told her no. I'm still torn between keeping him and letting someone adopt him, but I have hope that my situation is going to change soon. So
There's some parents that they know they can't provide for the children, and they give up their children to foster care, even though it hurts emotionally. That's the best thing for the children.
Well, that's not been my experience, but as I had a daughter when I was 13, and then I fought for her for 3 years, and they made me sever my rights after the 3rd year because they said I was no closer to having her return to my care than when it first started, because I couldn't provide stable housing. So it's kind of the same thing. I don't have stable housing now, but they should have just taken her from me from the hospital from day one if that's the case, because what 13 or 16-year-old can provide stable housing? You know, it's impossible. So that's just a BS excuse if you ask me.
How old are you now?
I'm 48 now. My birthday was in May.
So 48.
Yeah.
So that was, they told you that back when you were 13?
Well, I fought for her for 3 years, so when I was 16, they severed my rights, and the foster parent had been hounding me to let her adopt her for over 1.5 years, and I kept saying no, and I didn't know then what I know now. She wasn't supposed to be doing that, because the whole purpose was to reunite the family, not separate the family back then. But it seems the ultimate goal was to separate me and my daughter because I was so young. And the lady just wanted her, so I had no advocate, I had no lawyer, I had no one on my side to fight for me. So my child was just taken from me, basically. And she's been on the street, she's about that life, you know. She's been fighting for her life since she was born. So, but she was premature, so yeah.
It's like a cycle, huh?
Yeah. It's a vicious cycle.
Does she have kids?
She just had her son. He's gonna be 2 on August 11th, I believe. He'll be 2, or yeah. But he's already wearing like size 3T clothes. She's very. She would have been a great mom, but the lady that adopted her also has her best friend has her son. So her adopted mother's best friend has my daughter's son, so the cycle continues, you know, unfortunately.
Wow.
Except for my daughter wasn't so young when she had her son, but her situation was the same as mine now. So
Shelby, what do you do to stay cool? There are cooling stations. The city of Phoenix provides cooling stations. Do you ever utilize those services?
Yeah, the library. We'll go into the library and cool off. I like to take him to Cane's to get chicken tenders, and they're very nice there. And he's such a good dog. He deserves it, you know. And so I try to do that as much as possible. I take him into QT with me. Just make sure he's got plenty of water. Keep him, you know, wet. With room temperature water, like not cold water, that'll shock them. But I know he's miserable. I know he's miserable out here. I'm miserable, he's miserable. That's the bottom line. That's the truth. You know, it sucks.
What do you have to do to get out of here, though? You're homeless, you're hungry, it's hot, you have medical ailments, your legs. I think you said rheumatoid arthritis, lupus, all that combined. Man, there's some steps you need to take to get out of here and start addressing those issues. But I think because you're not the only one, there's lots of folks that I've interviewed that lots of underlying medical issues, like severe, that are life-threatening. Yeah. But they ignore all that because of the addiction.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely. Is that the number one anchor that keeps you here?
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't. You know, I can't say that though, because I got sober and I ended up homeless anyways. So being sober is no guarantee to being homeless, to ending homelessness. It's not the answer to end homelessness, but it is definitely the answer to making better choices. You know what I mean? For yourself and for loved ones like my dog. So I think everything just starts with making the right choices and making the next right decision. And when you're clouding your mind with substances and you're self-medicating, you can't really make the next right choice, because the only choice you're trying to make is to get more of that same stuff that's diluting your ability to think clearly as it is.
Right. So Shelby, I'm gonna say thank you very much for talking to me. I really appreciate you sharing your story. Please stay safe. God bless. I'm gonna go get you some food, give you another bottle of water, and we'll be talking soon, okay?
Okay, thank you.